Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Emily and today I have for you a nice calming sequence that will get yourself ready for bed. Maybe you've had a stressful day or you're struggling with your sleep at the moment and you just need something extra that will just calm the mind and body down and hopefully help us have a good night's sleep. So when you're ready, pop on your comfiest, coziest, favorite pajamas and join me here on the mat. So to begin, we'll start seated. And we'll start with some neck circles. So bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, we'll gently circle the head down, round to the left, and continuing in our anti-clockwise direction. Just loosening up any tension in the neck that we've built up throughout the day. One more circle in this direction. And then circling it the opposite way, circling the head in our clockwise direction. One more circle. And then gently coming back to center. As we inhale, we'll lift up the shoulders towards the ears. Exhale, gently relax the shoulders down. Again, inhale, lift. Exhaling, lower. Inhale, squeezing the shoulders up to the ears. Exhaling, relax. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling. Rolling the shoulders back. Beautiful. Then we can lengthen both the legs out in front. We'll bend the left knee and take it over the right leg. And we can keep this right leg extended or we can hook it round to the opposite hip, coming into our Lord of the Fishes. Inhale, sit nice and tall through the spine. Exhaling, twist round to the left. Looking back behind the shoulder and hooking on to that leg. Feeling that nice juicy twist in the spine. And nice deep breaths into your belly. Maybe closing the eyes again here if that feels nice. One more breath. Exhaling gently. Coming back to center, we can unbind both of the legs, lengthen them back out, and then bending the right knee, taking it over the left leg, and then either keeping the left leg extended or hooking it round to the opposite hip, coming back to our Lord of the Fishes on the right side. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, twist round to the right. Gently gazing back behind the shoulder. One more breath. Exhaling, gently coming back to center. Again, we can lengthen both the legs back out. Then this time we'll bend both of the knees and bring the soles of the feet together, bringing the heels into the pelvis as close as we can. Coming into our bound angle pose. And we'll inhale, sit nice and tall through the spine. Exhaling, tucking the chin in, we'll roll down the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, folding it forwards. Drawing the crown of the head down towards the mat. Shoulders gently pulled down the back away from the ears. And the chin tucks into the chest. Feeling that nice stretch all the way down the back of the body and in those inner thighs. One more breath. On our next inhale, rolling back up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way back up to sit nice and tall. We can then find our way into our tabletop position. So we're on all fours. And the hands are shoulder width apart here, knees are hip width apart. We're spreading those fingers wide, and we'll move through some cat-cows. So on our inhale, we'll draw the belly down and lift the chest and chin up. Exhaling, pull the belly in, rounding the spine and bringing the chin to the chest. Inhaling, waving up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting the head. Exhaling, round. Inhaling, waving up. Exhaling, rounding the spine 2 more times. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, round. Last time. Inhale, waving up the spine. Exhaling, rounding. Inhale, we'll come back to our neutral tabletop position. Then we'll stretch out the chest and shoulders a little bit more. We'll walk the hands to the top of the mat, keeping the hips in line with the knees. We can melt the chest down to the mat, coming into our puppy pose. If we have any blocks, we can place the block just where our forehead comes to land on the mat, just to elevate the head a little bit more if we can't quite reach our mats. And wherever we are in our puppy pose, nice deep breaths, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders. One more breath. On our next inhale, gently peeling the chest up off the mat and walking the hands back in. Bringing the hands to the edges of the mat and the knees together. Using your core, we'll bring ourselves down to lying on our fronts. Beautiful. Then keeping the palms just underneath the shoulders. Inhale, press the palms into the mat to come up into our cobra pose. Beautiful. Gently pressing the pelvis into the mat. The lower back muscles are active. And we're pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Nice deep breaths. The elbows stay tucked into the sides. We're not winged out to the side. Keep those elbows tucked in. One more breath. Exhaling gently, waving back down to the mat. Then planting those palms into the mat, we'll press it straight back to a child's pose. And we can have the knees together, arms down by the sides for a nice release in the lower back. And we can take a moment to close the eyes here, return to your breath. Each time your mind wanders and starts thinking about the day you had, come back to your breath. The day is done. Now is our time to let go and relax. On our next inhale, bringing the fingertips underneath the shoulders and just pressing them into the mat so we come to sit up on the heels. We can then bring the hips to one side and we'll bring both the legs round in front. Great. Flexing those feet so the toes are pointing to the ceiling. We can inhale, lengthen the arms up into a nice L shape or Dandasana. Exhaling, folding forwards, reaching for the edges of the feet. Coming into our forward fold. And we're nice and lengthened through that spine. As soon as we start rounding, we can bring the hands maybe to the shins just so we can lengthen. Shoulders gently pull down the back. And we're nice and soft in those knees. We're not locking in the joints. One more breath. Exhaling, we can gently let go. Then we'll use our core to bring ourselves down to lying on our back. So bring the arms parallel to the legs, tucking the chin in, exhaling, rolling down the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming down to lie on our backs. Great. Then once we're all the way down, we can walk the feet in so that the soles of the feet are on the mat, the knees are bent, and maybe we can just touch the heels with the fingertips. We'll tuck the shoulders underneath, plant the palms and feet into the mat, and gently press the lower back into the mat as well. On our next inhale, we'll slowly roll up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting the pelvis up into a bridge pose. Keeping that chin tucked into the chest. If it feels nice, we can interlace the fingers underneath to open up the chest and shoulders a little bit more. And nice deep breaths into your belly. One more breath. Exhaling gently, releasing the fingers and slowly rolling back down the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. We can then hug both the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rock from side to side if that feels nice. And then we'll find our way into a shoulder stand. Sorry, I'm just shimmy my way down the mat. Just so that I don't kick the wall by accident. So just being aware of your surroundings. So if you're familiar with shoulder stand, you're more than welcome to find your way in. Otherwise, if we're new to shoulder stand, we can inhale, bring ourselves back to our bridge pose. Then using the hands, we'll shimmy the hips from side to side. So we bring the hands underneath the lower back. The fingers are on the outside of the hips. And one by one, we can bring one knee up in towards the chest. Finding your balancing point, we can bring the other knee into the chest. Maybe lengthen the legs up into the sky. And if it feels good, we can slowly walk the hands up the back, all the way to the back of the shoulder blades. Coming into our shoulder stand. And nice deep breaths. Keeping that chin tucked into the chest. One more breath. As we exhale, hinging from the hips, we'll extend the legs overhead. Maybe the toes come to touch the ground behind us. We can generously bend those knees if it feels nice, or we can bring the toes to a block, coming into our plow pose. We can keep the palms on the back, or we can maybe bring the palms down to the mat. And wherever we are, nice deep breaths. One more breath. Exhaling, bringing the hands back to the back, maybe the shoulder blades. We can bring one knee into the chest at a time and using your core to gently lower yourself back down to the mats. Beautiful. Hugging those knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Great. Then we'll keep the right knee into the chest. We can extend that left leg down to the mat. Taking a nice deep breath in, inhale. Exhaling, twisting that right knee over to the left side. We can extend the left arm out. Right arm out, sorry, I'm getting my left and right muddled down. Time for bed. Gently gazing over to the right side and feeling that nice, juicy release in the lower back. Maybe closing the eyes again, returning to your breath. Exhaling, we can gently come back to center. We can hug both the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Keep the left knee into the chest, extend the right leg down. Take a breath in. Exhaling, taking that left knee over to the right side, extending the left arm out. And gazing over to the left as well. And nice deep breaths. One more breath. Exhaling. Coming back to center, bringing both the knees into the chest. Give yourself one last nice hug. We'll then finish with a happy baby. So keep the knees into the chest. We can just reach the feet up into the sky. And then we can hold on to the edges of the feet, or maybe use the peace fingers to hold on to the big toes. Or if that's too far to reach, we can always hold on to the backs of the knees. Just finding what hand placement feels nice for you. Inhale, take the knees out to the edges of the body. And exhale, gently pull the knees in towards the armpits. And we can rock from side to side here. You might feel a little silly in this stretch. So if you do, have a little giggle to yourself. Remember to smile. Enjoy your practice. Just a nice release in those hips and lower back. And sometimes, it's just nice to feel a little bit silly. Perfect way to release that stress from the day is to just get a little bit weird, get a little bit silly. One more breath. Exhaling, we can hug the knees back into the chest, and then we can lengthen both the legs down to the mat, coming into a Shavasana. Closing the eyes, the feet fall out to the sides, palms are facing up, and the fingers come to their natural curl. Coming back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Observing the natural rise and fall of your inhales and exhales. And you're welcome to stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you like. Otherwise, if you're ready, we can gently bring ourselves to lying on either the left or right side of your body. Coming into a fetal position, the knees are bent. We can make a pillow with the hands. And just take a moment here. And then still with the eyes closed, really slowly and mindfully find your way back up to sitting comfortably. And however you like to sit, the spine is nice and tall, the shoulders roll down the back, chin tucks in, and we rest the hands on the knees or together in the lap. In your own time, gently blinking the eyes back open and lifting the head. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that little flow. Hopefully you feel a lot calmer and ready for bed, ready for a good night's sleep. Thanks again for joining me. Please remember to like this video and save for later. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Namaste.